Hello everybody, my name is Jad. Welcome to another MLB 9-inning video. In today's video, we've got packs, we've got a couple combos to go through today. We have a signature pack to go through, and right now we are in the middle of playoff implication baseball right now. We are recording it live as the Mets and the Braves are playing Game 2 right now. Now, I'm running a little bit late today, so that's why I have the privilege of doing this while the game is being played right now. The Mets had already won Game 1. A truly amazing game. I mean, honestly, I got the privilege to watch the live update while I was in class earlier today, and my goodness, it was just a nuts game. I did not believe that when the Mets took the lead, I was like, okay, they got to pitch a couple innings here, and they give it the lead back again, but then they took the lead back again, and then Diaz comes out to save the game a second time. I'm like, oh man, here we go. This is going to be a nuts game. And it was. It was much more than I had bargained for, considering the first 7 innings went about as average as you would probably expect them to go. But the Mets came and they played ball and they won in the end. Chris Sale was scratched for Game 2. Let's get into the video today. While I do this, it's going to be a bit of a short video, but while I wax poetic. But Chris Sale was waxed for game. Chris Sale was scratched for Game 2. I didn't think they were going to pitch him anyway in Game 1. I thought it was very clear that the Braves were going to avoid him at all costs, even in a situation when, even if they lost Game 1, I thought there was, a good chance that he wasn't even going to pitch Game 2, just due to the fact of the way that the playoffs really kind of worked out here. Mainly due to the fact that, when one team would have won any of the 2 games, the Game 2 just becomes irrelevant. They just basically put in the surrender lineup and nobody cares. And that's basically what happened here. So the Braves are now leading 3-0. As we all know, a 3-0 lead in the 8th is a completely safe situation. There's no way, no team has ever come back 3-0 in the 8th, right? That's never happened. But I'm not saying it's impossible for this game to end this way, but I don't foresee anybody putting any serious players in the game anymore at this point. You don't want to risk injury. They play tomorrow in the wild card series. I don't really see them using anybody. But anyway, congratulations to the Mets. The Mets are now in the playoffs. They're, no matter what happens, win or lose this game, they're in the playoffs. The only thing that matters now for playoff implications is if the Mets win this game, the Diamondbacks are in, the Braves are out. If the Braves win, the Braves are in, and the Diamondbacks are out, essentially. That's the only thing that matters at this point. There's still a couple more innings left to go. I believe we're starting on the top of the 8th now, so we'll get into the video. So it's enough rambling out of me. We don't have a lot of packs to go through today, so it's not going to be a long video, unfortunately. I wanted to come to talk about the updates I made to my team. There was something I was considering that I had really some new thoughts about ever since the last video came out. So typically the way I run my mentor is I always like to think that my starting pitching would give me the best chance to win the game, despite the fact that the starting pitching would be my strength, and it would be my bullpen would be the weakest, because as we've all seen, even properly skilled bullpens give up lots of runs, and now my bullpen is properly skilled and they still give up a ton of runs. However, the thought that my starting pitching would benefit from getting some late game benefits, such as I have a mentor set up where my starting pitching gets additional benefits if they pitch into the 7th and the 8th inning. I thought that would be good enough to if it's a close game, to keep them in the game longer. And I was thinking to myself, that makes sense because they're a stronger player than my bullpen is. However, I'm starting to notice that my starting pitching will go into the 7th or 8th inning with a 3 or 4 run lead, and then they'll give up the lead because their stamina is too low, and then the other teams start to kind of get into the spotlight portion of their bullpen. And the mentor effect where they kind of have, I believe there's a mentor effect where if you're losing, you get additional spotlight effects. So my thought process is, and this may or may not make sense, but I want to kind of unwind the idea of keeping my starting pitching in the game longer. I want to think about changing the mentor over to not necessarily have a slower, right now my mentor is set up to be a slower change from the starting pitching to the bullpen, and I kind of want to either go variable or I want to go faster change to the bullpen, because now my bullpen is actually pretty good at this point. Most of my bullpen is pretty solidly skilled. They've got some good trainers on there. They have good ERAs every week, week in, week out, and I think that they do a pretty good job, honestly. I think like even my middle relievers last week ended up with like 2 ERAs. I mean, they did do pretty well. They're not perfect, but they're definitely much better than they have been in years past. So I'm definitely thinking of changing my mentor over, because I think that my starting pitching is kind of getting a little bit weak, and maybe they're not trained right. Maybe it's just the way the game works now, where like they will run out of stamina faster. I really don't know what the case is behind this, but for some reason I'm noticing that my starting pitching, when it goes deep into games, is just absolutely falling apart in the late innings. Like I said, I think it's due to stamina, I think it's due to mentor effects, and I think that if I got my bullpen in, which is actually pretty solid now, I feel like that might give me a better chance in the long run to maybe win a couple more games. I'll try it out for a week or two, maybe. I'll see how it goes. Sometimes this seems to happen maybe either when a catch-up mechanic comes in, because I've seen my pitching will be up 15-0, and then my starting pitcher comes out for the 8th inning and they give up like 5 runs. I'm like, that's really weird. Like, why are they giving up 5 runs to nobodies? And if they're giving up 5 runs to nobodies, then, you know, what would they do against like a really good team, like in a PRT situation where I've got like a 5-0 lead and my starting pitcher comes out for the 8th inning, and all of a sudden, you know, like we have a tie game. That's kind of my thought process here. I'm not really sure if it makes all the sense in the world, but maybe you guys do something different than me. Like I said, my starting pitching is set to be changed slower. So right now, basically, my starting pitching will stay in rather late into games. Like, they will stay into games up until the 8th inning in some situations. Even in a safe situation, my starting pitching will only be changed out in the 8th inning for like a setup guy and then into the closer. Sometimes it goes right from the starting pitcher to the closer, even in a 3-0 game, because they've got some extra stamina. But I'm seeing some of my later down the rotation guys kind of give up runs late, and I'm just kind of like getting a little frustrated at that. So I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe you guys can shed some light. I have other club mates who are also talking about the same situation, where they're kind of thinking to themselves like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. It would kind of maybe be an interesting way to change things. Let me go double check my mentor right now, and let me see the exact effect that I have, because I want to illustrate this idea. I know some people probably understand already what I'm talking about, but I just want to illustrate my idea here. I have Baseball of Trust, I think is what it is. Trusting Fellow. No. Full Power Pitch. Is it this one? Baseball of Trust. It will become slower in autoplay or quick inning mode. I would like to go maybe to this one. Sub-Crisis Management. Or it would be this one. Flexibly. I don't know what that means. Maybe somebody knows what that means. Somebody who can translate like Com2 US speak into English. I would love it if you can explain to me what flexibly means. I wish maybe that means that it would be stamina dependent as opposed to being like more rigid, which it is now. I don't know. I wish I knew. Unfortunately, I spent years trying to understand this game and translate this game's dialogue, and I have a very poor track record, as well as everybody else has a very poor track record as well. Believe me, we are basically flying by the seat of our pants here. We have no idea what this means. We strive for more clarity on things. It's taken years to get clarity on things such as BIU and other things. Trust me, it's been a complete mess. We gotta send the trucks in there, man. We gotta send some more trucks with screens to get the point across about how this makes absolutely no sense. But in other baseball news, because all I do is break baseball news on this channel, I saw that the Giants have relieved Farhan. I have no idea how to say his name. I apologize, but they've relieved their president of baseball operations, and they've replaced him with Buster Posey. Now, me personally, I have no idea how good Buster Posey is as an executive. I hear that he basically put up together a deal together to either extend somebody or sign somebody. So that's good news. Maybe he has some idea what he's doing. He's not just kind of there as a figurehead, essentially. We'll see if that actually, turns out well for them. But I heard also some rumors that maybe they were thinking about bringing in Kim NG. I'm sorry, I have no idea how to say her last name. She was a former Yankee executive who went to the Marlins, who helped build the Marlins into a playoff team, and then was subsequently let go by the Marlins. I don't know why. I thought that she did a great job. I think she's a very smart person, and I think that she'll do a great job no matter where she'll go. Would love to see her come back to the Yankees, honestly, but I think that unfortunately that ship has sailed, and she'll forge her own path at this point. But I think she's very smart. I think she'll do a good job. But I think that she definitely got the short end of the stick with the Marlins. I don't know what they were doing. They fired like everybody that built that team, and then the team subsequently collapsed, both due to injuries as well as just, in my opinion, poor management. But oh well, that's what you get. They fired Jeter, they forced him out, and then they got rid of all the people that he hired. I think that was just a very poorly run decision, in my opinion. But what do I know? I don't get anyone's names correct anyway, so I don't know anything about anything, so oh well. So I have no idea, man. Anyway, I also saw in non-baseball news, I saw that Dikembe Mutombo passed away today, which was really shocking. I mean, the guy was only 58 years old. Truly, just I didn't see that coming. 58 years old is unbelievably young, in my opinion. Let me go pull up the game real quickly so I can break some news live if the Braves decide to blow this game. 3-0. Still in the... Oh, we're in the 9th now? Oh, okay. Who's pitching for the Braves? I hit the... That's not the button? No, that's not the right button. Oh, do I actually bring in the closer in? Oh, man. That's tough. Like I said, bringing in anybody into this game, you're limiting their effectiveness in the wild card series, essentially. Like, the Mets used Diaz in back-to-back days now. Diaz pitched 70 pitches in 2 days. In my opinion, I thought that pitching him in Milwaukee with a 5-0 lead was definitely a poor idea. And now I think they've lost him for tomorrow's game, and maybe the game after that, because 70 pitches in 2 days as your closer is rough, especially a guy coming off an injury is like he was. Like, yikes. I don't know, man. That just seems like a poor idea to me. But again, what do I know about baseball? Is this a Yankee sig? Yes or no? Is it a silver Garrett Cole? Garrett Cole? Garrett Cole. Okay, not Garrett Cole. Former teammate of Garrett Cole, Jose Altuve. Former teammate. No PSETs. Not lucky today. Let's see. Do I have a SIG combo for today's video? I actually do not know. I've got the Altuve SIG. I've got the SIG from last time. And then, do I have another one? The Brandon Drury. Oh, and the Matt Olson. Okay, we do have a SIG combo today. Maybe there is still hope. There is still hope, folks, for a Yankee SIG in today's video. We could actually do it. We could be heroes. We could be legends. Let's see, baby. Give me that SIG combo. Nope, not the Mike Shosha. That's what we're looking, Yankee SIG. I don't know if that does it. Weird. I didn't think it was possible to not get Yankee SIGs on this account. Huh. Bizarre. Well, Mets aren't going down without a fight. That's a hit off the closer. So, as it is right now, unfortunate for the D-backs, that's what you get. Unfortunately, everyone can feel bad for the D-backs, but I feel like the D-backs absolutely shot themselves in the foot down the stretch here. I feel like they lost a bunch of winnable games. They lost series to teams that were out of it, that were not even playing for playoffs anymore. They could have beaten the Rockies. They could have beaten the Giants, who were basically already eliminated at that point, I'm pretty sure. They may or may not have been eliminated. I actually don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like the D-backs absolutely kind of backed into this situation. But, credit to the Mets and the Braves. They won the games that they needed to down the stretch, and now they're in the playoffs. So now anything can go. You never know. You could be the wild card team that goes on the run. You never know. Anything could happen. Playoffs is always just a complete and utter mess. The game just went final. 3-0 Braves. So, sorry, D-backs. The D-backs have been eliminated. Pain. I'm sorry if you're a D-backs fan. I apologize, but I feel like they absolutely shot themselves on the foot down the stretch. They could have won. They could have won some games. Those winnable games. They could have taken advantage of it and just did not do so. So, the playoffs are now set. We are now ready to go. The Yankees, they won the number one seed. Kind of backed into that one. They won games down the stretch. They took care of business. They swept Oakland. They almost got swept by Baltimore, but they eventually won a game. Thankfully, because Baltimore called off the Dogs, they basically took Corbin Burns out of the game and basically punted on the game, so that way they could line him up for the wild card series. And then they basically didn't win against Pittsburgh until the last game of the season, and kind of won the number one overall seed based on Cleveland not winning against the Astros. which is pain. Anyway, the playoffs are now set, so tomorrow is playoff baseball. I'm excited. I'm working, but I'll have the opportunity to watch some playoff baseball finally. It's bittersweet, man, because I love watching baseball, and unfortunately, the playoffs mean that baseball is now coming to an end at this point. Every team is, kind of on a limited schedule now. Now it's kind of like I don't get baseball every day anymore, especially with the team I want to watch, which is the Yankees, obviously. I'm not going to get to watch the Yankees again until Saturday at this point, which is kind of sad. Obviously, I'll get some postseason baseball with everybody else, but, I'm kind of used to at this point the grind of the baseball season, which is that I get to wake up every day and be like, all right, who are we playing today? Today is the day, we're going to win again, or today is the day we're going to basically play a little bit better compared to last night. So, it's a shame. It's unfortunate, but almost triple three. Oh, well, that's baseball. Now, they're very important games, and every game matters now at this point. So, hopefully, for you guys, hopefully your team made playoffs. If they didn't, free agency is right around the corner. And I don't know who's going to win it this year, man. It's a crazy field this year. There's, the postseason pick'em is coming up. I don't know who to pick anymore, at this point. There's a lot of teams that can win it. I think any team out of the AL could win it. I think any team out of the NL could win it at this point. It's kind of unbelievable. The parity this year is crazy. The Yankees, I think the stat I saw was the Yankees won the AL with 94 wins, which I think is the lowest number of wins to win the number one seed in the American League since, I think 1972 when the Baltimore Orioles did it, which is kind of crazy to me. It's been a long time since that's happened. Let's see, we'll go trainers here, and then that's going to be everything for the video today. Unfortunately, like I said, not a lot of things to do in today's video. It's going to be a short video for me today, just kind of like a little update video. Not the greatest trainers. That one is kind of rough. But I'm still working on the Call of Duty video right now, so that should be up pretty soon. I did finish all the recordings, basically, but I kind of want to do a little bit more just to kind of make a little bit of a longer video. I don't know. I'm still going to try to nail down the whole idea in terms of what I want to do with it, but I'm not really sure yet. Obviously, some people still want me to record Rivals, but I feel like that I want to do Rivals, but I feel like that Rivals is just kind of bored. My Rivals team is basically built at this point. All I'm really doing is making minor upgrades to my Rivals team. It's like I've already built a team. I'm essentially just pulling SIGs. Today was actually a SIG pack from Com2 because of some kind of ranked error. I don't know what happened with that. But at this point, all I'm doing is I'm basically playing a season, running green tickets, and then I'm doing upgrades and then position trainings, and then that's it. There's nothing really going on in my videos right now. It's just kind of a holding process where I'm just kind of making minor small upgrades, whereas, 9 innings, there's a lot to do. We're opening packs up, we're opening up trainers, we're doing PSETs, there's a lot to do that we could kind of upgrade on my team, whereas Rivals is kind of just... It's like a slow boil at this point. I don't really know how to describe it. But anyway, that's enough rambling out of me for today. Hopefully you guys enjoy the playoffs in baseball. I will see you guys in the next video. Don't worry, I'll have a lot more stuff to do in the next video. Today was it was a slow week for me. I didn't really get to play that much. I didn't get to do a lot of farming. I've been very busy this week. So next week will be a lot better, a longer video, a lot more content, a lot more things to do, a lot more packs, and hopefully more PSETs to open as well as trainers. So anyway, with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you guys enjoy the playoffs, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.